but hold on a second. Word from production that Team Gaes versus Lightborn game is ready. So ladies and gentlemen, let's hop into the drafting phase of game 1. Team Gaes versus Lightborn. So I believe Lightborn is on the blue side with Team Gaes. Ooh, Fried Pigeon, nice to see you here. And Brett, oh, I think I recognize this team already. Oh goodness me. And oh guys, we are in a world of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we're in a drafting phase this time round. I've never expected Team Gaes. I never expected to see Team Gaes here. No offense guys. But we gotta get to the question in the room right now is, well, Claw is being banned by Lightborn, and knowing Team Gaes, they are kind of good with their Claw, and they're very good in terms of the rotations. They are very aggressive as well during the early game, mid lane. So basically, in terms of textbook play and how to actually rotate all this kind of stuff, I believe our Team Gaes here definitely got the game in the back. But like I said, dark horses abound, Murphy's Law. When things can happen, it will happen. You have to take it as will happen. Speaking of which, Esmeralda is going to be banned. Usually when you ban off the Esmeralda, you're going to expecting those kind of cheeky plays such as Harif coming on. Maybe they're hinting it. But Team Gaes have to be... I think Team Gaes is very good in terms of the early game aggression, especially if you have Brett controlling the Kagura or the Selenium. So that's something that Lightborn has to be very, very careful. Banning away the Link as well. At this point of stage, I feel like everyone know each other already, and they're already literally banning Link. Usually you don't really ban the Link unless you definitely know, okay, this team definitely knows how to play the Link. But speaking of which, we're still... the core is the most important thing we have to talk about, and which means that we're going to be picking right now. Lightborn going for... I like the fact they're actually taking a long time in terms of picking, because this shows that, hey, I need to be... there's a lot of conversation happening, because I would say that a quarter... No, not a quarter. A third of the match is being determined by the drafting phase, and we saw in the first game early on just now where literally Toxicity outdrafted Divine like a lot. But right now we're looking at the pick from Farsa. Very nice in terms of the artillery strike and basically zoning out. You lay down with like that artillery, like that man zone, like a no-go zone or something like that, or something like a DMZ if you buy my jokes here. That's what Farsa can bring on the table. Loi is going to be on the side for Team Gaes, and Fried Pigeon go for Uranus. Like I said, Uranus is something that we really have to be very concerned about, because this tank is not only just a tank. I would say that he's usually played as an off-laner, and he can actually dish out a lot of damage as seen in some other tournaments. Atlas is going to be the choice of tank for our Lightborn team, and Xborg as well. So which means that I will definitely see a lot of Purify coming up from Team Gaes side. Definitely, as you can see here, they're already lining up those green little summoner spells already. But speaking of which, Xborg have to be very careful, because if you play an Xbox, you have to go up close. But the problem is that if you go up close against a low E, the dispersion and the rotation, the duality combo will definitely gonna be landed on you. So they have to be careful with the Xbox. Kimi will be the carry of Team Gaes. Kind of show off the core already, because I think they want to take that Kimi away. I'm not really sure though. This Kimi is definitely gonna be very good, because an Atlas have to jump up close against a Kimi in order to do that Fatal Links combo. But the problem is that if Team Gaes actually pick a tank, which we haven't really seen a proper tank, I wouldn't call Uranus a proper tank as of yet. I take him as an off-laner, because due to the fact that Uranus doesn't really provide any hard CC. But looking at Lightborn side, the stun from Farsa is a hard CC, the Fatal Links is a hard CC. Now catching up with the bans again, they're banning away the Kaja for Team Gaes. Very nice ban right here, because you don't want the Kaja to catch the Kimi that is actually at the back line out of the fight. And Helker is going to be banned as well, kind of using the Darkness Balls to kind of counter against the Atlas. Basically, can you imagine like going in with the ejected stage as well, and the Fatal Links going in. My bad, battle spells, thank you very much production team. Okay, speaking of which, Team Gaes going in with the Leomord. Something like I would call him a fickle Uranus. Kind of those kind of heroes that goes in, stick as close to you as much as possible, and basically deny you in terms of damage, kind of want to drive that wedge in between you and your team. And don't forget, Leomord actually acts as a very good meat shield. But Lightborn side, they're going with the 1-1, which is going to be a late game monster, but a Alucard though, not a lot of meat shield, especially with this kind of matchup. You want, especially with Farsa that you have to protect, and a Alucard is definitely super. Sorry, a fighter, something like a Jawhead, which is banned of course, but you can go for a Cho, which is kind of open. But I don't know why they didn't go for something like a very decent fighter. Alucard, we shall see. A late game, a very well-fed Alucard is definitely scary. But like Team Gaia is going to end it off with a Angela as well. Probably going to be there to protect the Uranus or the Leomord while they're going in. But we're looking at a team composition for Lightborn. They kind of have a balanced-ish, except for the Alucard, that doesn't really make sense. Balanced-ish team dynamics. Whereas on Team Gaia's side, we're looking at not really a tanky lineup. They're kind of, I would say they're kind of greedy in terms of the damage because, well, Uranus actually deals damage, guys. Newsflash, guys. Newsflash. Uranus does deal damage. Someone, love Uranus, please. But the problem here is the fact that the Kimi is going to be up against a Farsa, where both of them are actually long range. So it really depends on how and which team sets up. If Team Gaius is caught in a choke point, that is definitely going to be devastating because an Atlas can go in there and basically fatalings everyone in, and Farsa, all he has to do is just land that feather airstrike as well. But on the other side though, Team Gaius has an advantage because the Leomord will be the one threatening the Farsa, who is actually landing that ultimate, because a Farsa can actually jump in and, you know, clear up the, try to actually doing a lot of problem and trouble, creating trouble and dissent, I would say, at the back line of Farsa and forcing the Farsa to kind of reposition, because but the problem is that if you reposition that Farsa, there'll be no feather airstrike. But hold on a second, as we're hopping into game number 1, guys, we're looking at, on the blue side, Lightborn, represented by the Chinese name Bori, more Chinese name Spyro, and Hero Liner, followed by Team Gaius with the Fried Pigeon. We lost Brett, Inuka, and very small words, Dragon, something ultimate. But with that said, we're looking at a 1-3-1 kind of strategy come up from Team Gaius, but I feel like Lightborn going in directly for the red buff. They don't want to give up that red buff as soon as possible, but this means that they open up that mid lane to be cleared super quickly, and Team Gaius is going to rotate immediately to the blue buff. And hold on a second, that's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Uranus is kind of broken. That tank, technically an off-laner right now, is dealing so much damage towards the Alucard with the Ionic Blades that kind of stack as much, that stack in terms of the damage. And look at that, Brett just zoned the Xbox out away. And don't forget, we lost here, our Loi player. The duality is something that you don't want to see, don't want to meet, especially in terms of the passive, because the passive is the one that deals the most damage for Loi. So I would say that for this time around, Team Gaius just Team Gaius just allows Lightborn to come in. All they have to do is just allow Lightborn to engage in Fried Pigeon, doing a little cheeky emoji right there, letting Alucard attacking him. And don't forget, every attack you land on Fried Pigeon is him healing out of that attack because of his passive. And hold on a second, Lightborn looking for some play on the top lane, and Loi getting a little bit low right here. Duality, the dispersion going down as last ditch effort. The shield's coming out though, and the Kimi the chemical spray thing coming out, and it's just going to disengage for Team Gaius, kind of saving Loi there from a potential first blood. But I don't really see why that Lightborn doesn't really attempt to follow that up. Okay, Farsa is getting caught in a bit of a problem right here, as Uranus is just trying to go and clean up the Farsa, and that is a 1-for-1 trade though. But on the big picture side, Uranus doesn't really need the farm. If you deny that Farsa in the early game, she will not be farmed up. She doesn't have the damage and threaten in a feather airstrike, and therefore giving Team Gaius a lot more map control. So I would say that's a Team Gaius win. And don't forget that Fried Pigeon is already at 2-1 kill. And hold on a second, it feels like Team Gaes kind of want to take this mid turret down. And well, actually not really. And they're just playing super safe. They're just respecting each other. But hold on a second. Once I say respecting each other, they try to go in with a little bit of a tease of a team fight. Right now, they just have to play the macro game. But hold on a second. Inuka coming in with the Phantom Steed, sweeping up the Spiral at the back line as well. And I think this is gonna be, Team Lightborn is playing a little bit cheeky right here. They can't really actually engage in terms of anything. There's a Iluka coming in, sweeping him up, and this means that there is no one contesting for the top lane for Fright Pigeon. Oh, Iluka, you don't really want to go there with the Ionic Blades. You can't really attempt to go ahead. But Atlas tries to save his life, but nope, the Ionic Blades is gonna sweep up the Alucard. Wow, I think kind of bit of disrespect coming up from both teams. Team Gaes definitely ahead in terms of the gold. With this turtle, they're going to be a lot more ahead in terms of the gold lead. And just feels like there are little skirmishes happening everywhere, and it's getting very scrappy. We don't see Farsa landing down with a feather airstrike to kind of say like the zoning out. This is not really zoning out, this is kind of catching it. The Fatal Link is going to be used on a Uranus. A Uranus is going to go down, but don't forget, your mid turret is down. Brought down by our Kimi player right here. This opens up the map a lot more. And look at the turret for Team Gaes, they are super healthy. And Inuka knows how to engage, knows how to come in at the last minute, sweeping up with the Phantom Steed and basically deny that Farsa. The Farsa, he needs to kind of rotate, find that good angles to land out that feather airstrike in order to get that maximum effectiveness, but it feels like Team Gaes is just playing them out. Allowing Team Gaes to farm out of control, giving up lanes like this right now. They're getting caught by both Loi and Leomord. Oh, Leomord, turret dive almost immediately, just wanting the kill, but yes, the shutdown goes, but don't forget, the Bounty Hunter on top of Inuka is definitely giving a lot more gold as compared to Alucard. Sorry, as compared to Xbox, my bad. But like I said, this time around, Team Gaes is just all over Lightborn. Lightborn doesn't really have a reply. This Alucard pick is not really ideal in terms of this matchup, especially when you're going up against a Uranus as well. Fedeline's coming in, but the Purify by the KB is definitely going to save her from that lockdown. And the best part is, even though Atlas went down, that was a good Fatal Links that tries to catch the two of Team Gaes. Angela did not go down, but the Atlas went down, kind of sacrificing himself, and there you go, another kill giving away to Team Gaes as well, pushing the gold lead a lot more, and that is not good. Farsa needs to land that feather airstrike right now to zone this away, and this is exactly what I said. The Fatal Links did not actually really land. Look at the amount of Purify coming out from Team Gaes, and that is not the main point, as the mid turret for Lightborn is cleared up. That was just a diversion, guys. We lost here. Doesn't really care about whether they lose any turret as well, because they are definitely leading in terms of this game. Look at this Fright Pigeon, Ionic Blade stacking on top of that. The ultimate Coalition ultimate is going down as well, and then suddenly, oh, maybe overextending himself this time around, buying a little bit of time with the cooldowns. That is a very nice kite, but hold on a second, Atlas going in with Fatal Links going down, but no, there's too many Purify coming out from Team Gaes. But taking down Loi as well as the Kimi is definitely a win for Lightborn, but there is no much follow-up. There is no split pushing happening. Maybe the X-Ball up there, but constantly getting threatened by Fright Pigeons proxying, and Leomord right here coming in. They just run and take this turret down. They don't really care about the X-Bot doing anything. Defensive Steel is going to be used. Okay, they finally kind of overstayed their welcome a little bit. Farsa should have landed that feather airstrike right there, but I don't know why it's not going down. Okay, Inuka, a little bit of trouble right here, fighting right in the bottom of the turret of Lightborn. Ooh, X-Bot almost died right there, escaping with a silver of health, and I really like the fact that, but the problem is that, look, every time that you give to Lightborn, Spiral is going to farm. If Spiral farms, no matter how ahead you are in terms of the team fight, in terms of the gold lead, that 1-1 is going to catch up to you. So Team Gaes, I think they had enough of them. I think they should have enough of their fun. I mean, like, look, playtime's over. Too many fun. Then they just have to start to wrap up this series, because you don't want to play with your fruit, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't your mama actually taught you this? Look at that. Kimi melting down the Xbox already. The Fatal Links tried to pull, but the Purify of Red just denying the Atlas almost immediately. I think this is exactly very crucial why Atlas is not as effective as what we've seen in Toxicity fight. Fright Pigeon doesn't really care about the Alucard. All he does is just to clear the waves. And look at that, just running away. That is insult to injury. And with the emoji going down, Loi coming in to look for some fight as well. Angela's ulti with the Heart Guard going in, making sure that the Uranus staying up as live as possible, staying healthy. But I think they're just buying time for this mid push right here. But I think the Feather Airstrike, okay, finally doing something that I am expecting, zoning out Team Gaes and forcing Team Gaes up. Don't forget, 99 seconds on the clock right here for the Lord to be respawned. This means that, oh, okay, hold on a second. Very nice Fatal Links coming in. That is exactly the Fatal Links that are needed. Don't forget, the Purify is actually, with the cooldown increased, the Atlas ultimate is definitely like lesser cooldown as compared to the Purify. Therefore, I think the Atlas finally understood this fact and jumped right in, taking down 3 members, or I think 2 to 3 members from Team Gaes early on just now. In the meantime, Leomord is right here, sweeping around with Xbox, but look at Heartguard coming in with the extra shield and Loi coming in. I don't think Xbox can actually get out of this alive. Look at that, pushing the Alucard coming in at a very weird angle as well. Farsa finally coming in with a good angle with the Feather Airstrike. Dish down so much damage against Angela, but I don't think, no much follow-up coming up from Lightborn. The Wen is nowhere to be seen, probably diligently farming away, but I think this time round, have to ditch that farming already, because look, your team is getting swept up by Team Gaes as all the time, and that is, I think it's high time for you to actually join the team fight, especially right now. I would say Atlas have to play with that Purify. Uranus is the one going to get stunned. Farsa being pushed away literally by Loi, and Kimi is on the job, dragging all the way into the turret shot of Lightborn, but there's not much follow-up coming out. The damage spiral is not there, and therefore Kimi is going to be able to clean up the Alucard. Alucard, no, that is not exactly how you want to play, not exactly how you want to enter. But hold on a second, finally Farsa landing down some Feather Airstrike, some artillery landing on Angela and cleaning that up. Look at that Farsa, look at that, Uranus just doesn't really care. He's basically super tanky, super fed. He doesn't really care that, because he knows he's not the main point. The main point is the rest of the team who is pushing up the rest of the turrets. The Kimi is the one that Lightborn needs to look out for. And look at that, oh, crossbow attack, saving Spiral from certain death from Kimi, and that is definitely gonna be it for One to actually get out alive because of the help of Farsa Feather Airstrike, zoning out Team Gaes. But hold on a second, it feels like the Team Gaes really looking to take down this bottom turret. Loi is in a bit of trouble when juking it. That is when I would say that when is finally alive, but without follow-up, there is nothing that Lightborn can do, because they cannot just go in a player in a like a diner on a conveyor belt. That's not how you should play against a team composition like Team Gaes, especially when Team Gaes with Leomord sweeping up the Farsa, sweeping up the Alucard, and definitely this series is gonna be in the hands of Team Gaes. They are looking very cool right there with the emoji. Look at Fried Pigeon right here, just standing right outside the spawn of Lightborn, and therefore Team Gaes gonna get a decisive game number 1. Ooh, that is, I don't know, just Lightborn, there is not much follow-up. The Wen's nowhere to be seen during team fights. Alucard came in at a very weird position, and especially when the Alucard is not farmed up. And then the export tries to do as much damage as possible, but I don't think he is the main damage dealer. As we go into the result screens, can we look at the damage score? As you can see, Farsa is the one doing the most damage. When nowhere to be seen, therefore you can see the 18% damage. But hold on a second, look at that. Uranus, 22% damage output, almost on par with Loi as well. So to be honest with you guys, that Uranus He is just a troublemaker, just dealing so much, just doing a lot of disruption, basically sowing discord, literally, no pun intended, guys. Sowing discord at the back line. Farsa is forced to reposition, therefore removing that damage. And then don't forget that Farsa is also in the threat of Inuka. There's no much meat shield coming out from our blue team right here, from Lightborn, which is the red team right now. The Alucard coming, that Alucard should not be part of the draft, in my opinion. They should have went for someone like a Cho to be able to kick someone away, or a Kaja, but Kaja was banned earlier on. You want someone who is able to protect that Farsa. You want Atlas to linger around Farsa to kind of like protect that Farsa, because the Farsa is the one that dealing the most damage during the early game, during the landing stage, to zone out as much as possible. But they are constantly going up against that Uranus. So when you see a Uranus in a team, technically speaking, you don't want to hit him, because he is just there to be a troublemaker. He's just there to wedge that discord. They just want to wedge that teamwork in between your team. So I when you see a Uranus, I would say Uranus at this point of stage, he has to be banned. Like literally. And but the problem is that if you ban Uranus, it opens up to a lot more heroes that you wouldn't be able to ban. I think at this point of time, Mobile Legends will require more than 3 bans per team, guys. We're looking at a lot of very broken heroes right now, but technically speaking, the setup is required, but there are certain heroes that you really have to ban out, especially when you're banning out those meta bans. If you ban out those meta bans, you won't have enough bans for yourself to do those target bans, to do those matchup bans, all this kind of stuff. So right now, Team Gaia's got this round. What is Lightborn gonna do? Will Lightborn gonna have to be matched? Will Lightborn go and match up with that early game aggression against Team Gaia's? But don't forget, Team Gaia's, I think they are mechanically too strong. But to be honest, Team Gaia's though, they really know how to rotate and exert that map control all over the map. So therefore, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, game 2 is going to be very important for Lightborn. What is Lightborn's answer to Team Gaia's aggressive matchup? But you know what? We'll hold on to that and give a huge shout out to our sponsors as well. Of course, those things that you're looking at are not only just on the table. Thank you very much, our official mobile partner Samsung phones, and don't forget, join our campus champions. Guess our champions for our Campus Legends 2020, and of course, this is also brought to you by our official audio partner JBL, and this initiative is also hosted entirely online in support of hashtag #PlayApartTogether and hashtag SGPlaysTogether. So if you want to find out more on how to actually win some of the goodies that not only that the champions actually walk away with prizes, you guys sitting at home on your sofa watching the stream right now can also walk away with some prizes as well. Just hop onto our Facebook on Skoga and Instagram as well to find out more on how you can win as well. But speaking of which, I think I'm more concerned about Lightborn, because Team Gaia's, I actually recognize some of the players before, and I would say, they were the dark horse of the other tournament that I kind of casted before. I remember that very time where we kind of had our eyes on Basara, which actually got knocked out by this very Team Gaia's and other teams that are really strong as well. And then suddenly out of nowhere, this Team Gaia's, just went up in the bracket and just swept everyone cleanly. So Lightborn is actually up to a very strong challenge right here. What would it be their play? Well, they had the right mindset. They had the Farsa. They had the Atlas. They had the right mindset where they're going to try to let the 1-1 farm as much as possible, delay the game as long as possible with the help of Farsa zoning. But the Alucard pick is something that they should not be picked. Like I said, some other fighters would have been better. Or in fact, don't forget, I think giving that Uranus away is not very good for Lightborn. Like I said, Uranus is just simply broken as of now, because as of now, Uranus not only just deals damage, sorry, not only just tanks, he also deals a lot of damage. But speaking of which, just checking in with the production team, I think the game is already ready. So let's hop on into game number 2, the drafting phase of Team Gaia's versus Lightborn. Once again, what is the answer for Lightborn against a very strong and challenging team of Team Gaia, with this time around Lightborn on the red side and Team Gaia's on the blue side. And Esmeralda is going to be the ban for Team Gaia's. I think they just... Esmeralda is kind of popular right now, in my opinion, because don't forget, she doesn't really care about shields as well. And if you have some matchup that kind of requires shield, like for example the Uranus, and this kind of opens up to a lot of things. Don't forget, they also drafted a Angela early on, making sure that Uranus stays alive a lot more, basically a lot more tankier than you would have expected, because no one would have expected a last minute hard guard brought by our Angela. But speaking of which, Lightborn going to be banning that Kimi away. Care, Kimi, but I believe that the champion pool of Team Gaia's is extremely wide. They can go for a lot more things than you would expect. So we shall see. Team Gaia's this time round, banning the Uranus this time. Maybe okay, fine. If you go for a Uranus in your first pick, you don't really have like a second pick as well, because even though you had the first pick, you kind of in a back end. You want to be flexible. You don't want to commit yourself in a matchup playing around with Uranus. And whoops, Team Gaes went with the Link. Like I said, if you ban the meta heroes such as Claude and Kimi, you open up to non-target bans. And in the hands of Team Gaes, I believe that Link is just going to go around exerting so much early game pressure towards Lightborn team right here. So Lightborn definitely taking more time to pick, because this first 2 pick is going to be vital. Do they have an answer towards their early game aggression as compared to Team Gaia's? Kaja is going to be picked, wise choice, because you know, with the Kaja you can lock down the Link who is actually trying to jump in, or anyone at all who's trying to jump in to threaten your backline, which is your Farsa, which is a very good pick, as they pick both Farsa and Kaja at the same time. On the other side, Team Gaia's going for a Atlas again. We're seeing Atlas almost in every game in today's matches right now. So Atlas definitely, in my book, is the best tank available. Don't forget that the potential team wipe coming out from Atlas is just devastating. So which means that in order for Lightborn to counter that, it's maybe you have to pull out a Valere, you have to pull out a Purifier as well for your battle spell. Cho will be picked for Team Gaia's as well. Like I said, a budget Kaja, and this Cho will be a threat to Farsa. So you will have to expect Fried Pigeon or whoever's going to be playing Cho later on to come in at a very good angle to catch that Farsa when she's on her Feather Strike as well. Okay, Kufra is going to be the choice of tank for Lightborn, as we're hopping into the banning phase right now. So there's no marksman for both sides. Claude is out of the game as well. Sorry, Claude is out of the board, along with Kimi is out of the board as well. This opens up to Grandeur, to the Wan Wan, and so on and so forth. Okay, banning the Valere away. Why? Okay, no, it doesn't really make any sense for me, to be honest, because, well, banning the... You kind of need a Valere. You have a Link, you have a Cho, you have an Atlas. A Valere would have been a super good counter against Team Gaia's matchup, but I don't know why they actually banned away that Valere. It just doesn't make sense. But Team Gaia's, okay, banning away the Jawhead, because we saw Jawhead is actually just, as well, you play him technically like an assassin at this point of time, hiding in the bush, using that ejector force, one more combo that I always like to say, and just assassinate one of the soft carries that actually work on by you know, you don't really expect. But oh, Lightborn going for an Alucard again. No, why? It doesn't make sense. Like, Alucard in this matchup, you have to be super fat, you have to be super tanky, and don't forget, a Badang will be going, I would say, on a 101. Okay, Badang is not being picked again, but if we shift our attention back to Alucard again, Alucard needs a lot more farm. There are a lot of potential good fighters out there. We should have went for Marsha as well, which actually have a bit of a dueling opportunity. Thamus as well, a very good pick as well from Thamus. Sorry, from Team Gaes as well. So I don't really understand why the Alucard and the Fanny. Okay, this is going to be a little bit interesting, guys. Team Gaes don't really have a marksman, but Lightborn went for Alucard and Fanny. Fanny at this time around is too... Okay, fine. You want to kind of counteract the Link early aggression, and so they will definitely go toe to toe. But then again, no marksman for both sides. We're not looking at any marksman for both sides. In my opinion, okay, fine. I'm a marksman main, so I will definitely have some feelings up for my dear role. But the problem is that without a marksman, there's not much pushing power. Well, Link technically can split push, the Fanny can technically split push, but in terms of long range split pushing, because if you're not a marksman, if you try to push a turret, you have to go up to melee range and whack them down. But then that this does is basically that could have saved your life. So playing a little bit greedy for Team Gaes as well, but I still do not like Lightborn's draw because I don't know why they went for Alucard again, guys. Like literally, it just boggles my mind. Alucard this time around, he really needs a lot of farm, and well, he's a good 101, I can tell, but he is kiteable. You have a Fanny, you have a Thamus that could go against a Alucard, I believe. I would expect some Thamus and Alucard 101 action. But in this case, this Thamus is picking up a Vengeance, and I would say that Thamus is gonna be able to out-sustain that Alucard. But hey, you know what? This is just theory crafting, guys. Theory crafting is like 30% of your fight. The actual work is actually the mechanical skill and the rotation, as we're looking at the game right now. Game number 2. Once again, if Team Gaes were to win this, they'll be moving up the series. But the other side can be said as well. Lightborn, if Lightborn actually take this series, we'll be hopping on to our first game 3. But we shall see. Immediately, Team Gaes just wants this blue buff away from the hands of Lightborn. Denying this blue buff means that the Fanny won't be able to turn around to rotate as quickly as possible. And Cho, ooh, look at so much damage as well, taking down that Kaja an early game. And Fright Pigeon in a little bit trouble right here, but I think We Lost is like, okay, you know what, I don't think I can help them at Cho at all, and just have to give up that Cho to be given away. But I think taking the... Oh, they didn't even take away the blue buff, and that means that Lightborn actually get that, not only just that blue buff, they get a free kill, in fact 2 free kills as well coming out from Lightborn. Lightborn this time looking a little bit promising, but we shall see. And Farsa looking to actually take away this blue buff, but hold on a second, Link actually take down the Alucard on the other side, and the blue buff went in the hands of Thamus, so that's still okay. But Fanny's just gonna swap in and clean up the Link, knowing that the Link is super low, and I think they just have to disperse. Team Gaes played a little bit too greedy right here. In terms of the gold lead, yes, they do have the gold lead, but I think they're starting to make a little bit of mistake. I don't want to say give chance, guys, like giving some chance over to Lightborn to actually take that Cho kill and take that Link kill. That's not kind of what, but technically they still like kind of went up again, so it's like a tight score. So you take some from me, I'll have to take some from you as well. Seems like there's gonna be another team fight here in the mid lane, and almost immediately they just disperse. But this time around, they don't really have the damage from Lightborn side, because right now in Lightborn side there's only like Farsa. Sorry, no, Farsa is there, but there's no ultimate ready yet. The Kaja is there, which is not doing much damage, and the Kufa is not doing so much damage as well. I would say that this Kaja is a little bit suspicious, but Link is right there already, simply swipe out the Alucard, but I think that is going to be a double kill for the Link. Like I said, you give that Link in the hands of Team Gaes, especially Red right here, that is definitely not looking good. Okay, fine. For Fanny, I take it back. That Fanny is actually knows what she's doing. She knows who is extremely low, went in and cleaned up with the help of perhaps the Kaja and the Farsa. But hold on a second, can I have a look at the items for Kaja, please? Because it looks very suspicious. Yes, going for a little bit damage being teased right here coming out, because I wouldn't have expected so much damage coming out from our Kaja player instead. But thank you very much. But anyways, Team Gaes giving up that blue buff over to Lightborn again, playing a lot more safer as compared to game number 1. But this time around, okay, hold on a second. Fanny just, I kind of overshot a little bit, but the duality is just going to drag, and therefore Fatal Link's going down as well, dragging a bit. The Temples of Blades going down, allowing Link to basically dash around, and Link basically pick up like 2-3 kills out of that. Sorry, 1 kill actually. That is a almost team wipe for Lightborn. That is not, I would say, I don't know, like it just, I would say that that's a very good choke point for the Firestar to land on the Feather Airstrike, but probably being threatened by the potential threat of Red going in and jumping in the walls, going into the back line, so definitely has to play super safe. But this time around, I think we're looking at a bit of a comeback here for Spiral with 3 kills as well. That means that they have more gold to play with. This is not a Alucard that's like as weak as the Alucard that we see in game number 1 instead. Okay, Kaja going in, the lure is super juicy right here. Fatal Link is going to be used to drag in the Kufra. Is it worth it though? The Firestar is just going to land artillery fire for the Atlas player, unable to run away from that juke though. Okay, the duality not be able to pull it, not gonna pull it off actually this time around. But don't forget, Team Gaes is ahead in the goal lead. Yes, Lightborn has a better early game this time around, but the gold lead though, where's the gold going to instead? I think it's I think it went into the, I would say, yes, the Cho and the Thamus is actually busy farming away, and not forget the Link is actually also rotating in a very nice way as well, and therefore Fanny went down with a mega kill, and very nice ultimate coming up for just to prevent that Kufra from going down, but I don't think that is needed as well, as Link is just going to sweep up that Kufra as well. This, I would say, is another decisive game from Team Gaes as this time round. But hold on a second, Firestar finally landing down a very good Feather Airstrike with the help of Kaja. Divine Judgment going to be able to sweep up that Thamus being a little bit too greedy jumping in, but Brett immediately jumped into Firestar, cleaning that up, removing that damage as well, and definitely looking to put down that turret in the mid lane. Like I said, there's not a lot of pushing power. Brett is the only thing that is going to be able to push down turrets with the wave coming in as well. But to be frank guys, Alucard, not really my favorite hero in this matchup, because the Fanny, yes, Fanny can actually do a bit of damage and try to snipe away perhaps the low E, which is actually a lot less mobile. But then again, if you take down the low E, you still have the threat of the Cho, who is actually be able to output that amount of damage. Look at that solo kill by Fright Pigeon right here. Don't forget, he's also using a high and dry emblem, which means that he's gonna dish out a lot of damage with that wombo combo. That is the damage Cho right there, not much of a utility Cho. But this time around, Lightborn, mid turret, inner turret is actually being threatened. Not any answer coming out from Lightborn though. They are literally starved of gold, 7k gold deficit as compared to Team Gaes, and with this turret they're gonna secure even more gold from themselves, pushing their gold lead into like a 12k gold lead almost immediately. And look at that, Cho is looking at very good this time around, laying down some good angles, but there's a very nice jump away from Kufra, but well, Link is on the case, taking down that turret and the Kufra along with it as well. The aggression coming up from Team Gaes, they drafted so aggressively. The Link is the one that is threatening to jump into the Firestar whenever he lands that Feather Airstrike. And oh, I think that is a potential Fatal Links, but I think there's no Purify coming out from that, and Purify, well, the Fatal Links is not ready yet, but that doesn't really matter as Link is just at the backline dishing out so much damage and clearing out and preventing, and still be able to jump right away from the fight. So, not really looking good for Lightborn. All Fright Pigeon has been doing is just soloing it at that one lane uncontested with the high and dry as well, which kind of suits that strategy that he's going and the emblem that he's going as well. Look at the damage that he's outputting. Fanny has no choice, even though in that choke point, getting caught by the low E as a Fanny, oof, that is a very bad call for Fanny. A little bit overextension coming in. Okay, this Spiral going on the 2v1 at this stage. No, not really looking, not the kind of engagement you're looking at. Lightborn, you have to try to buckle up. You cannot give these kind of plays towards Team Gaes. They're just gonna be doing so much damage to your backline. And look at that. Yes, they kind of bursted down the low E, but Loi not the main character because Red is the one that is dishing out the amount of damage. But this time around, maybe Lightborn finally find that angle they're looking for to go in with the damage. But look at that 1v1. That is a team that is super ahead, like almost twice the gold lead in, for Team Gaes as well. Just I think they threw the game, Lightborn threw the game in early game too much. Like they gave too much gold away, gave too much lead away for Team Gaes to kind of climb back up. And even though I would say Team Gaes just having a lot more fun, they kind of like stop in the middle of running away, giving a little bit of leeway for our Lightborn players. But it feels like Team Gaes is just all over Lightborn, and that was a very good Fatal Links, I would say. But not really required out, just because of the damage output coming out from Loi as well as the Brad, who is basically super farm, and I think they'll be able to take this series home and move up in the brackets. But oh my goodness, guys, I think this is just super textbook coming off the team, guys. No, in fact, it's not just textbook. I would say they're just scribbling all over the textbook, and they're able to get away from this. So Team Gaes definitely got this this series this time round, moving on probably to the finals coming on later on after we see from Toxicity or Glorious versus Sleepless who's going to be resolved. But with that said, going up with Team Gaes, initially I don't really know Team Gaes as well. Until I saw the IGN, I recognized the IGN almost immediately, and that's exactly the Black Horse I was talking about early on just now. But speaking of which, once again, very great game. Kind of one-sided. No offense to our team Lightborn right here. Even if we pull out that the damage, the victory, the match result, but I think the match is kind of set in stone. The Alucard is not supposed to be in this draft. Like, it takes too much gold to be able to carry, for Alucard to be able to carry. Yes, 101, but I don't. In this matchup, especially in these kind of tournaments, you don't want to be in a scene where you want to 1v1. Link is super mobile and can assist in any time. I mean, like, Alucard it would be out-kited by any of the heroes drafted by Team Gaes as well. The only thing that you can catch is Loi, but what can you do? Loi, yes, a bit of damage, but the Link is the one that is actually sowing some discord at the back line. Far as I think that for Lightborn, their champion pool is not as much as Team Gaes. Team Gaes is just having a lot of fun, in my opinion. But you know what? The second finalist is not known yet, but you know what? We do hold on as we want to just remind you guys, those watching at home, you guys can actually be a winner as well, not only just the competitors that we're looking at, because you can actually hop onto our Facebook and Instagram to find out more and help us predict the winner of CL 2020, not just for this phase. Right now we're just resolving each institution, but in a bigger picture, we're looking at the winner of Campus Legend 2020, and you stand a chance to walk away with a Samsung Galaxy S10 Lite worth $848. Also, a huge shout out to our official audio partners JBL and official mobile partners Samsung and other supporting partners such as Yahoo, OnePlay, Sports, and many others. And of course, thank you very much Red Bull for the Red Bull. Definitely helpful in terms of the energy level. But I think, to be honest, guys, Team Gaes is just super crazy. I really don't see any way. Okay, to be honest, guys, you've watched Toxicity going up against Divine early on just now. Will Toxicity be able to match up with Team Gaes, who actually took down Musarab, which is, no offense, one of my favorites team out there? I think I'm showing a little bit too much favoritism. But with that said, Toxicity, yes, they're kind of taking a break right now. What is their game going up against Team Gaes? But you know what? I may be jumping the gun a little bit too much, as according to our brackets right now, we're still resolving the Glorious and Sleepless match, and after that, Toxicity will have to go up against one of them before going up in the finals for today for a match against Team Gaes, who's proven themselves super powerful in terms of rotation, super flexible in terms of the champion rotation, and I feel like they're here just having fun. But you know what? Do stay tuned, guys. My name is J07. We'll catch you in other tournaments. Sorry, other matches.